Whoa, I'm actually running a heavy Windows game Cyberpunk on this Mac directly, and it is pretty insane. So this is going to be an interesting video. Like you all know, I am a Windows user. Scratch that, proud Windows user. But recently I had to buy a Mac. Relax, it was not for me but for Team TW, because we here use FCP for our video edits, and well, FCP works only on Mac OS. And initially I was like, we are buying a Mac, how hard could it be? Because see here you can get the Mac M2 Mini for as low as around 55,000. Then you have MacBook M1 Air around 80,000, and then you have MacBook Air M2 around 1 lakh. And then you also have iMac M1 around 1.2 lakh, then Mac Mini M2 Pro around 1.3 lakh, then MacBook Pro M2 around 1.4 lakh. It's confusing. Like starting from an affordable 60,000 to an insanely priced 7,20,000 rupees. But it's also the best time if you want to switch to a MacBook, like 60,000 for a Mac. Nice. So the question that has to be asked is, as a first time Windows user, which MacBook should you buy? Well, worry not, because we got them all. So over the years, we have nearly spent 10 lakh rupees on getting all the MacBooks out there so everyone else can make a sensible decision. But what you can decide right now is internet security, and here's a quick word from our sponsor, Surfshark VPN. Now, fair thing, we were already using Surfshark VPN before they even approached us for this video. Now, you're obviously being tracked whatever you browse or watch on the internet, so getting a paid VPN makes sense for two important reasons. Number one, Surfshark VPN works on all websites seamlessly with good privacy, so you can even unlock content from other parts of the world that are not available in India. Here's a good video for that. Number two, Surfshark VPN starts as low as 180 rupees per month. Plus, you get unlimited device access, so you can share the same account with your friends and family. Now, Surfshark VPN partnered with us, and for Team TechVisor, you get an exclusive Surfshark deal. Enter promo code TechVisor for 3 months extra at surfshark.deal/TechVisor. Also, there is 30 days money back guarantee, so there's no harm in trying. Now, before we begin, as a Windows user, when should you buy a MacBook? Of course, MacBook starts as low as 70,000, then you need to have 70,000. So as a Windows user switching to MacBook, the first thing you need to do is check if your software works on Mac OS. Because I've seen people buy a MacBook, then Tally doesn't work, Finance Tool doesn't work, Remote Desktop Tool doesn't work, then you will be trapped. Now to make things simpler for you guys, I'll tell you the best Mac to buy as per every price segment. And wait till the end, we also have a table guide. Let's get Macintoshing. Starting with 60,000 to about 1 lakh rupees. So you have three main options here. This M1 MacBook Air, or this M2 Mac Mini, or even this M2 MacBook Air. Now we have used all the three for many days, and all of them are really good options, but which one should you buy depends on your type of work. Let's start with the Mac Mini. First, it comes in this small compact design, ideal for a desk setup, looks very minimal, and even you get all the necessary ports, like you have this USB-A port, Type-C, HDMI, Ethernet, headphone jack. Only thing missing here is an SD card reader. For the price, I won't complain, and this is the maximum port you will see on any Mac machine. And the best thing about this is the performance. So this here is the M1 Mac Mini, and now I load up Photoshop, open an image, see, it was fast. Let me add some layers over here, add some effects, and like overall, I don't see any lag or slowdown. Though this M1 Mac Mini is not available, the M2 Mac Mini starts from 59,990 rupees, and it is slightly faster than the M1. I'll show you that in just a moment. So for the price, the M2 Mac Mini is a good deal, but listen carefully. There are two important things you need to keep in mind before buying a Mac Mini. Number one, it is not portable, because you'll have to carry the keyboard, mouse, and even monitor with you. And number two is the collective price. See, the M2 Mac Mini starts from 60,000 rupees, but you still have to buy the monitor, keyboard, mouse, speakers separately. So I'll recommend the M2 Mac Mini only if you plan to use the computer on a desk and you have some peripherals beforehand. And if you want portability, then the M1 MacBook Air selling for 70 to 75,000 is also a good option. The performance here is exactly the same as the M1 Mac Mini, plus the biggest advantage here is that it is a complete package with display, keyboard, everything. So productivity tasks, light coding, photo editing, and all of that can be easily done. Even the display is nice, keyboard and trackpad is industry leading. Also, the sound quality is top notch in this segment. That being said, the only drawback of the M1 MacBook Air is you get only 2 Type-C port and 1 headphone jack. That's it. Also, if you're charging while working, see the other port is occupied, you cannot put a dongle in it now. Also, there's this newly launched MacBook Air M2. It starts from 1.05 lakhs and the price sounds a bit much for a MacBook Air because the M2 Air has an updated design, so you get MagSafe for charging, plus you get 2 additional Type-C ports again. And in terms of performance on the new M2 Air, let me show you an example. So this is an M1 machine and we have the M2 MacBook Air. Both have same 8GB RAM, 256GB memory. Now let me run a quick render test for the video that we are editing. And see here, the M2 Air is slightly faster. We have already done a dedicated review of this a few days back. You can go check that out after watching this video. But long story short, if you can get the MacBook Air 2 with discounts offers under 90,000, I would recommend getting it. However, if that's not the case, even the older MacBook Air M1 is also a really good deal for 70,000. And another good deal is, if you find these videos fun and helpful, subscribe and hit the bell icon. It's also a very good deal. Now, if you want heavy performance and most importantly, if you have the budget for it, somewhere under 1.5 lakh rupees, then you have 2 options. First is this, the M2 Pro Mac Mini. It starts from 1,29,999 rupees, and at that price, this is a really good option. Now, this is very similar to the M1 Mac Mini in design, but it has more ports. There is a HDMI port, 4 Type-C ports, 2 USB ports, 1 Ethernet jack, and a 3.5mm headphone jack. Other than that, this also has more performance, of course. Like it starts from a 16GB RAM with 512GB storage. Let me show you a comparison. So remember that FCP render test? The M2 MacBook Air rendered the file in this much time. We also did the same with M2 Pro Mac Mini. So it renders the file even more faster. However, this has the same drawbacks as any other Mac Mini. You will have to buy all the peripherals like keyboard, monitor, mouse, all of that separately. So the effective price will go up. And you can only use it as a desk setup, not functionally portable. Other than this, you also get the M2 MacBook Pro from 1,29,999 rupees, which is a complete package with the M2 chip. But I would not recommend getting this for 2 reasons. Number one, the design is very old. Like it comes with a touch bar design and Apple themselves discontinued it, plus no MagSafe or anything. And number two, the performance gain is not that much over the M2 MacBook Air. So skip it. Also at 1.5 lakh, you get this iMac M1 and it has like a really beautiful display, but don't buy it because A, you get a Mac Mini M1 at 60,000 and you can spend lots on a very good monitor and it will still be cheaper than this iMac. Plus, this is iMac M1, which is old. The new iMac M2 is due in the next 5 to 6 months. Now, if you want even more performance, like if you're a serious video editor, graphic designer, developer, AI developer, basically making a living out of your machine, and if you can afford it, then Apple has 2 very good options for you. First is this, the M2 Pro MacBook, which starts from 2 lakh rupees minus 1 rupee. And for that price, this is actually a good option because like any MacBook, it is a complete package. So you don't need to worry about portability or anything. Now performance wise, this is the same as our M2 Pro Mac Mini because this also starts from 16GB RAM, 512GB storage. But the biggest advantage here is the display. Like let me show you why I say that. So we have the M2 MacBook Air and the M2 Pro MacBook, and I'll play the same 4K video that has a lot of blacks. And you can see the M2 Pro MacBook display quality is far better. Like, hold on, once again. Alexa, turn off studio lights. The MacBook M2 Air is dark and greenish, whereas the MacBook Pro display is bright. Like, you can even properly see the Spider-Man logo on the chest because the XDR display is bright and has good HDR capabilities. So basically the thing is, the M2 Pro MacBook comes with mini LED XDR display. In normal terms, the display is closer to an OLED display, so watching movies and all of this is best on these MacBooks. And not just that, this is also a 120Hz display, so using this, like all the animation feels more fluid and smooth. Plus, have a listen to this. The speakers are one of the best I've heard on any laptops. And frankly, there is no con with the device. If you have a budget, then totally recommend it. But that's not all. If you want even more performance and you're certain you will use only a desk setup, then the Mac Studio is a fine option. It starts from 2,09,999 INR, and for that price, the performance that you get is top of the line because this starts with the M2 Max chip, 32GB RAM and 512GB storage. I wonder how many Chrome tabs you can open on that machine. Other than this, Apple also launched the Mac Pro, which starts from 7,20,000 rupees. You can buy a car at that price. So obviously we don't have this. I don't even have a car in that case. Rest, if you game very casually, with a little bit of effort and little bit of knowledge on commands, you can actually run heavy Windows game on the latest Mac OS directly. Like see here, we'll launch Steam now, and Cyberpunk is a very heavy game. Of course, everyone would know about the bugs. Okay, it's actually playable now. It's consistent at around 43, 42 FPS. Don't. Is this health over here? How do I pick it up? Oh, that was a very bad glitch. Now this gaming performance is not equivalent to a 2 lakh rupees Windows machine, but you can play that chota mota game directly. So yeah, that was the video. Now the biggest advice I give to someone buying a MacBook is forget the hardware, check if the software that you use, do they exist on macOS. If yes, you are good for life. And if you're a Windows user, you can pause the video right now. This is a good guide on how much you should spend on a MacBook based on the current pricing of your Windows machine. Trust me, the price difference is about 1.52x, but you will get 3x, even 5x result. See, I'll give a bold statement. I feel that the iPhone is overpriced, not justified, but MacBooks are good productivity machines. So if your software is built natively for Mac, there should be no problem in shifting to Mac. Plus, if you want to get into the Apple ecosystem, then the best way to start is the MacBook, and this is coming from a Windows fanboy. So let us know how you like this video and tell us in the comment section if you are a Mac user or not. And on that note, this is Pratik signing off. See you in the next video. Let me get this 10 lakh. Pew pew pew.